On Tuesday, June 2nd, 6 states will have their primary elections to decide which candidates move on to the November 3rd general election. Welcome to the 22nd episode in our series analyzing the 2026 congressional primary elections for all 50 U.S. states. This is the final state in the June 2nd block, South Dakota. They're a smaller state with a population under 1 million people. They only have one House seat. This and their Senate seat are up for election, along with several local and state level races depending on your location. At the state level, the governor and lieutenant governor and several other seats are also up for election. As things are now, all of their congressional representatives and their governor are Republicans. I hope the people of South Dakota are ready to demand better from their representatives, but I'm not sure if the candidates who are running are ready to demand better. In this series, my time is limited to only reviewing the congressional races. From what I have found in these races, or rather what I haven't found, is neither the Democratic or independent options have evidence to be secular lefty approved candidates. There either wasn't a website, or when there was, they didn't have any meaningful policy information. The Democratic side of the primaries are set. In both the House and U.S. Senate seats, the Democratic candidates ran unopposed and will be in the general election. Each race also has an independent candidate running, but again, they lack evidence showing they are inspiring candidates. If either option does win a chance of winning, hopefully they are in some kind of agreement that as the general election gets closer, whoever is behind in the polls, the Dem or the independent, drops out and endorses the other. Otherwise, they'll just be splitting their voter base, which may already just be too few in South Dakota. In the first district, or rather the at-large district, back in 2024, the incumbent won with 72% of the vote. The silver lining here is that at least the incumbent is not running for re-election this cycle. He will be running in the governor's race. So that helps, slightly. For the Senate race, 71-year-old geriatric Mike Rounds is running again for re-election. Back in 2020, he had won with 65.7% of the vote. While I would like to see both of these seats flipped in November, I don't know if the opposition candidates will be able to. As mentioned, there are still plenty of other state and local level races that require your participation, so let's discuss the primary process. They have a standard partisan process like in most states, but one important thing to note is their state law allows the political parties to determine which voters may participate in their election. Republicans hold a closed primary, meaning you have to be registered with the party to vote. Democrats hold a semi-closed primary, which allows independents to vote in their primary election. The win condition is plurality-based, but there is a minimum requirement set to 35%. In races where there are 3 or more candidates running, if no candidate reaches that 35% minimum, there would then be a runoff election for that seat. Unfortunately, we are past the May 18th deadline for new voter registrations. For those who are registered, again, there are those other local and state level elections. Voting is still important. Allow this video to be a component of your political research, not the totality of it. Now, maybe I'm wrong about the Democrat and independent congressional candidates running. If they are inspiring candidates, or at least willing to learn the policies they need to fight for to earn our support, then maybe they can earn enough voter support to win. When I look for congressional candidates to spotlight in this series, these are the policies I look for on their web pages. I don't expect every approved candidate to have a policy page with every policy listed, but the more the better. Additionally, any candidates approved by those groups listed here are candidates you can trust are fighting for your best interests, not corporate interests. When candidates speak only about how they aren't Donald Trump or not a Republican, it's not a campaign message. Millions of Americans, myself included, are tired of this political non-answer. Saying vague platitudes and cliches as so often said by spineless and corrupt Democrats is also unacceptable. One example to pay attention to is the language candidates use around healthcare. Vague statements like, I support healthcare, but then offer no other supporting details. It's not acceptable. Do they support fixing the system by implementing Medicare for all, or do they only support the for-profit corporate healthcare structure that harms millions of people every day? We need more public servants in Congress. Sadly, in 2026, I don't see any coming from South Dakota. Maybe in 2028 there will be some better options on the ballot. But what do you think? Is there any important information I missed? Who will you be voting for? Let me know in the comments. As mentioned, South Dakota is not the only state voting on June 2nd. They will be joined by California, Iowa, Montana, New Jersey, and New Mexico. Hopefully the voters of those states will vote for the secular lefty approved candidates. If you know anyone who lives in those states, Please share the videos and let them know that there are better congressional candidates running. But without supporting them in their primaries, they won't be on the ballot in November. The next states voting after that are on June 9th, which include Maine, Nevada, North Dakota, and South Carolina. Be sure you're subscribed and ring that bell to be notified of my newest videos. If you found anything I said in today's video useful, please give it a like and share it everywhere. Together, we can make Americans more educated, and hopefully that will result in better election outcomes. Until the next video, please consider checking out my other work on this channel. Any additional watch time and shares will help the channel reach more people and is greatly appreciated. Thank you again for listening. Take care.